Before I say anything else, I need to ask you one question. What if the guy you've been texting already knows exactly how you feel about him, but you have absolutely no idea how he feels about you? That imbalance, that uncertainty sitting in your chest every time you open his chat, that's not a small thing. That's power. And right now, it's not in your hands. By the end of this video, you'll never read a text the same way again. I'm going to show you 5 signs a guy is genuinely into you over text, but stay till the end, because sign number 5? It's the one most women completely misread, and misreading it has cost women real relationships. Let's get into it. Here's what's actually happening for most of you watching this right now. You're talking to a guy. The conversations feel good, sometimes really good. He makes you laugh. He texts back. You feel this little flutter of hope. But then there are days where the replies are short, dry, one word. And suddenly you're in a spiral. You're rereading old messages at midnight, looking for something you might have missed. Here's what I want you to hear. You're not being dramatic. You're not overthinking. You are completely human. And you deserve actual clarity, not just hope. The problem is that nobody ever taught you how to read what a man communicates through text, because men don't text the way we do. Their signals are quieter, more behavioral. And once you know what to look for, it becomes almost shockingly obvious. So let's talk about what those signals actually are. Sign 1. He texts you first, consistently. Not once, not when he's bored at 11 p.m., consistently. There's a simple truth about men. They do not invest time in things that don't matter to them. If he's initiating conversations regularly, good morning texts, random "this reminded me of you" messages, sending you something funny in the middle of his day, he is thinking about you when you're not around. That is not something a man does casually. That is intentional. A man who texts you first repeatedly is a man who wants to be present in your life. Quick question. How often does he text you first? Think about the last 7 days. Be honest with yourself. If he does text you first consistently, drop a "yes girl" in the comments. I want to see how many of you are already sitting on a sign you haven't noticed yet. Sign 2. He remembers what you said and brings it back. This one is subtle, and it is one of the most powerful signs there is. If you mentioned a week ago that you had a work presentation, and he texts you the morning of saying, "Good luck today," pay attention. If you told him your dog's name once, and he asks about her later, pay attention. Memory is a form of attention, and attention is a form of affection. Men who are not interested do not retain details. They don't follow up. They don't connect the dots between conversations. But a man who likes you? Your life is interesting to him. The things you say land. He files them away, not to impress you, but because he genuinely cares. In attachment research, active recall, remembering the small details someone shares, is one of the earliest behavioral signs of real romantic investment, before he even consciously admits it to himself. Has a guy ever surprised you by remembering something small you said? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Sign 3. He's not just replying, he's building. And there's a difference most women never catch. Every text he sends is either adding something to your connection or just keeping the chat alive to be polite. And you can tell the difference once you know what to look for. A man going through the motions sends transactional replies. Haha, yeah, cool. His words are there, his energy isn't. He's managing the conversation, not investing in it. But a man who's genuinely interested, he writes back in full sentences. He shares his actual opinion. He asks follow-up questions, not because he ran out of things to say, but because he wants to stay in the conversation with you. Studies on digital communication patterns show that men who consistently ask follow-up questions over text are significantly more likely to escalate, to calls, to plans, to showing up. He's not just being polite, he's positioning himself closer to you. There's a difference between a man who replies and a man who shows up. One is obligation, the other is interest. Learn to feel that difference. Does he ask you questions back? Or does the conversation always feel one-sided? Sit with that honestly. Sign 4. He uses your name, and he starts building a world that only exists between the two of you. The name thing sounds small. It is not. When a man uses your name in texts, not formally, not strangely, but naturally, warmly, it's a deeply personal signal. Psychologically, using someone's name creates intimacy. It says, I'm not just talking at you, I see you specifically. I'm here with you. And then there's humor, inside jokes, references that only the two of you would understand, finding the same thing funny at the same moment. This is how a man starts building a private world with someone he's falling for, quietly, brick by brick. It's not just about laughing together. It's about the fact that he's creating something exclusive, a language, a frequency that only exists in your conversations. That is emotional investment, and it happens before most men even realize they're doing it. When was the last time he said something that made you laugh out loud, and you knew it was made specifically for you? That's not nothing. Do you two have an inside joke? Leave it in the comments below. Anonymously is completely fine. I want you to see that for what it actually is. Sign 5. And I told you this was the one most women get completely wrong. He goes quiet, and then comes back. I told you it would surprise you. Here's what happens. The conversations are good, things feel like they're building, and then one day, he pulls back. Shorter replies, slower responses. You start panicking. You wonder what you did wrong. You convince yourself he's losing interest. And so you do what feels natural. You reach out more. You try to fill the silence. You make yourself more available to compensate for his distance. That's the mistake. Because here's what's actually happening. When a man is developing real feelings, he often gets in his own head. He pulls back to self-regulate. It's a processing behavior, not a rejection signal. And when he comes back, more present, more engaged than before, that silence wasn't him fading. That was him catching his feelings. The women who understand this don't panic. They hold their position. They stay warm, but they don't chase. And the man comes back with more investment than he left with. The most dangerous thing you can do when a man pulls back is the thing that feels most natural. Remember that. Has this ever happened to you? A guy pulled back, you pulled harder, and it pushed him further away? Type yes in the comments below. You are not alone in this, and it is not your fault. You just didn't have the right information. So let me leave you with this. You are not bad at reading people. You were just never taught how to read men specifically. Now you are, and that changes everything. The right man, the one who's genuinely interested, will always show you through his behavior. Not his words, not his excuses, his behavior. And now you know exactly what to look for. If this helped you, share this video with a friend who's been overthinking a situationship right now. She needs this more than she knows. Like this video if it gave you clarity, and subscribe, because every week I'm breaking down exactly how men think, so you never have to guess again. I'll see you in the next one.